What's up, my fellow travelers? I hope everybody's safe and everybody's cool. And for the most part, if you're traveling, you're being safe. Let me ask you guys a question. When you guys are motivated to travel, do you travel based on your own interest or to have, I guess you can say, a one on one experience? Or is your motivation for travel based on replicating somebody else's experience? Because like what I see a lot, especially with social media, and it's important to know that no matter where you travel, there's always going to be similar points of interest. So if you go to Egypt, people are going to post the pyramids. If you go to Paris, there will be an Eiffel Tower. If you go to Italy or Rome or whatever the case, you're going to see the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I mean, if you go to India, you're going to see the Taj Mahal. So, you're going to see similar things because it's certain points of interest that pique people's interest and they're going to take pictures. But what I'm seeing a lot of, and a lot of times it just it saturates the travel community or these travel groups. I'm seeing a lot of replicas. It's almost like the way I see it is like this. Let's say like your pastor, whoever, says, I want everybody to read the book of Exodus and read chapter 5. There's no way in the world if chapter 5 has like maybe 30 verses, everybody should be talking about the same one or two verses. People should be able to extract from that chapter different things and different ideas. So I'm saying the same thing with, you know what I'm saying, out traveling. Even if we go to Paris, right? And we take a picture, you know, in front of the Eiffel Tower. Still, if you are a sports person for instance, Paris has a soccer team. I think it's Saint Germain. So now, even though you took a picture in front of the Eiffel Tower like everybody, that sports aspect of your interest should be highlighted too, so that you can let people know that, hey, if you're into sports, here's this aspect of Paris. But a lot of times, the different aspects of a country is not highlighted because everybody's posting the same thing, or people are trying to replicate a dope um experience that somebody else has. You know what I'm saying? And that variety is not being shown in these countries. Like for instance, when most people were going to Greece, I just kept seeing the same, like it's the same picture. It's the same flying dress. And I know for myself, I used to watch Full House when I was young. And John Stamos, I know he's Greek. He's Greek for real. And but he plays Jesse Katsopoulos on the show. So on the show, they had a ceremony where they were like oompa, and they would just take plates and just break them and celebrate. So when I see people go to Greece and they post these pictures, I'm like, where is that other aspect of culture, of Greek culture, that we should know about, versus everybody trying to get the dope picture of the flying dress or the backdrop? Like it gotta be more to that to whet people's appetite. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm saying that even though we all want to have these cool experiences, your travel should reflect your interests and what you like. I mean, it's just like out of all these Thailand, like I would see people go to Thailand and people will go to, people will ride on the elephants, people maybe do something with the tiger. It was very repetitive. But I personally know about Muay Thai. I know about kickboxing. I know it originated in Thailand. And that's an aspect. I think if I ever visited Thailand, then I would highlight that. But that's an aspect that should be shown. You know what I mean? It's just like if you go to Brazil, you're gonna see Copacabana Beach. You're gonna see the steps that the colorful steps. But I have yet to see somebody actually highlight the music from Brazil outside of the carnival. I have yet to see somebody highlight capoeira, like the Brazilian martial arts. You know what I mean? So I think that when you take a trip and you put in your own interest, you know what I'm saying, that brings a variety, to the groups, to travel, and everybody get to see like it's more than one thing to do. You see on my shirt, I think you can see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and you see Bruce Lee. I'm 39, so I came up in the era where my parents used to go to the matinee and watch kung fu flicks. So I came out of the era where Bruce Lee had respect. Like if you like basketball, we know Jordan is the GOAT. If you like martial arts, Bruce Lee is the greatest of all time. You know what I mean? In his skill and his philosophy. But I got a cousin that lives in Seattle. Now, what do you think about when you think about Seattle? Is it the movie Sleepless in Seattle? Maybe you want to drive past certain scenes that was in the movie. Most people think about the Space Needle. But do you know what I think about when I think about Seattle? I think about the fact that Bruce Lee settled there when he was 18. He came from Hong Kong because he was getting in trouble, and he moved to Seattle. There's a whole Asian Pacific museum out there in Seattle. I got a cousin that been living out there 15 years. And I told him, I said, when I come out Seattle, I'm going to go visit Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee is buried in Seattle. Like, people go there and visit. He got like he don't have like no rickety looking graveyard, no tombstone. It's like a real nice tombstone. And buried next to him is his son, Brandon Lee. So Bruce Lee and Brandon Lee is buried side by side. And tourists go there and go and pay respect. I got a cousin that been there 15 years. He said he never knew that was there. So that's what I'm saying. When we take trips, if we actually highlight our interests, it'll be a diverse thing. Like if I go to New Orleans, I'm a hip hop head. So the first thing I'm gonna do is like, yo, where's Soulja Slim buried at? Might see where Soulja Slim buried at. You know what I mean? Out of respect. You know what I mean? That's what, New Orleans hip hop. Where did Lil Wayne grow up? Everybody can't be on Bourbon Street. Like if 6 people post about New Orleans, everybody on Bourbon Street. That's everybody's experience. Everybody was on Bourbon Street. It got to be other aspects of a trip or of a country that you can highlight that somebody else didn't highlight based on your personality and interest. If I go to New York, I'm not posting in front of Times Square. I'm not posting in front of the Statue of Liberty. I'm going to be in Brooklyn. I'm going to highlight the West Indian community. I'm going to highlight Flatbush. I'm going to highlight the Jamaican community. I'm going to highlight all the murals, the Old Dirty Bastard mural, the Sean Prince mural, all the sneaker shops, all the fitted cap shops, all the ethnic food places. You know what I mean? Styles P from the Locks, his juice bar. You know what I mean? So I think that when we travel and we travel based on our interests, not so much as trying to have the dope pics or the dope videos, or she posed a sexy pose here and I'm gonna pose an equally sexy pose. If you actually post your interests, then we'll see more variety in these travel groups. You know what I mean? Because you will be posting your individual experience, or you'll be posting an aspect of that city or country that somebody else might have missed. You know what I mean? So, hey man, go out there, do you, be you, and highlight your interest. And you may put me on to something that I never thought of if I ever visited a city. You might put me on to something in a city that I live in. Peace, black people.